Oh, right. You want to know why hasn't George texted you back? Got you. I'm doing your reading now. How intriguing. What did you say? Because honestly, number one, they have conflicting emotions. Like, part of them wants to text you back, the other part is like, no, let me not. But you literally don't know. Like number one, they're very conflicted. Like, we see the confliction right here with the moon card. It's like two different emotions fighting each other, trying to figure out what's going on. But also they're hurt. Like, something happened that caused them a lot of pain. And in that pain, there was a moment of clarity where it was like, you know what, actually, I should probably not engage in this right now. It's probably more like they realize something about themselves, and so they're like, let me back away. Let me focus on me for a minute. Because we also have the Ten of Wands here, which is a releasing card, which is a card that says they're carrying too much baggage, they're carrying too much trauma, they're carrying all of these things that they need to let go of. And so I think that's what it is. I think it's like them realizing they need to work on themselves for a little bit and like let go of things that are holding them back. But it's not because they don't want to. It's because I don't think they're in the proper space to like really have a conversation with you. Does that make sense? Because this is very interesting. This looks like a lot of healing and like work needs to be done on the self. What is happening there? Will the new job be a good job for your happiness? Ooh, I like this question. Okay, I got you. Thanks, weirdo. I love how we have court cards here, honestly. Because technically, ever so technically, none of these cards say that it's going to bring you happiness. Let me just pull a couple more cards really quick. Happiness per se doesn't look like it's in the cards, but it does look like a good opportunity for you in general that could eventually lead to happiness, right? Like, we have the King of Pentacles here, which is a card of like creating stability, creating some sort of security, and just feeling a lot more stable and secure, you know? Like, this card is in a really, really nice and comfortable place. And then we also have the Queen of Swords here. And the Queen of Swords, it's one of those cards where you just have to trust your intuition, where it's like, if a situation feels off, go with that gut feeling, you know? If someone seems weird, don't engage with them. Like, trust your instincts is really what it is. But I think in general, this is a nice opportunity for you to gain some security, and I think that this could lead to some potential opportunities for you to really find something that does make you happy, and allow you to genuinely explore your passions and desires, you know? I just don't think that we're there yet. I mean, nah, that would be amazing to just have some security. Yeah, I think this could be a creation of security, honestly. I also see the potential of you letting your fears get in the way of you being successful, you know? Sometimes we get a little bit scared. So don't let your fears get in. Things are looking very imbalanced right now. Things are looking a little bit chaotic and all over the place and just very unstable. Like, we have the King of Pentacles in the reverse, which is like not feeling super safe, not feeling super comfortable, potentially not having enough money, you know, just feeling like very insecure financially is what it is. And that makes sense, especially if we have this Two of Pentacles here, which is like chaos, things being very unbalanced, things all over the place. What's important about this card is even though things are chaotic and everywhere, we still have to do what we can to try and bring in some of that balance, to try and make things a little bit equal. Because if we don't, then they'll just get a little bit too out of hand, you know? And what's even better is like, this doesn't last forever. This is always like momentarily chaos, you know? Like, things are chaotic right now, but it's not going to last for forever, which is good. Right now, I feel like we're in this vibe where it's like, okay, we're working for ourselves by ourselves, you know? We just are trying to make sure we're doing good. Like, really what it is we're nurturing our finances, really nurturing ourselves and nurturing our finances, because that's what the Nine of Pentacles is. It's like, okay, let's put in the work, let's put in the energy, let's grow, let's make sure that whatever we want to happen is able to happen, you know? And so that's what this does. And really, when this does that, it doesn't really make time for like relationships or talking to friends or talking to family, which right now I think you should just probably focus on yourself a little bit anyways, because not only do we have that Nine of Pentacles card there, we also have the Star card here, which is another card of like healing, working on yourself, just making sure you're okay. Like, sometimes this card comes up if you get physically sick, which just means, hey, you need to prioritize you need to like make sure you're doing okay. But like, with all of the chaos that's going on, I think in general you just need to make sure that you're doing okay, you know? Sorry, I had to stretch. Anyways, we also have this Five of Swords here, and the Five of Swords is like a backstabby card. It's a card where it's like you feel like someone betrayed you, you feel like someone hurt you, and it just brings in a lot of pain, you know? And especially when this card comes in, it's like, okay, focus less on revenge and trying to get back and like getting even, and focus more on healing, which makes so much sense since we have that Star card, you know? It's like, focus on making sure you're doing okay, focus on making sure you're doing well mentally and emotionally, those types of vibes, you know? So that way we can work through that. And also, with the Ten of Wands, there's a lot of releasing that needs to happen too. Like, this card is a card that's carrying too much baggage, and it's probably emotional baggage, where it's like, okay, you're carrying all this stuff and it's not meant to be carried, you're not meant to like take this with you everywhere. Some of this needs to be released, and so it's like, okay, let's drop it, let's get rid of the things that are not helping us, that are not bringing us into the direction that we want to go. So that's really what that is. It's just a lot of healing, releasing, focusing on yourself, and then putting in the work, putting in the effort to like not only heal yourself and work on yourself, but like try and create some stability, try and create some comfortability and a sense of safety, you know? But anyways, with all of these cards that I pulled, do you have any questions? Or I can keep pulling with the same energy. What about your love life? I got you. I love how you, per usual there, you're like, yep, it's been on point, just like every other time. I don't know how I feel about this, is what that is, you know? Because, like, on one hand, we have the Page of Wands here, right? Which is, like, that passion, that desire, like, the start of something new, where it's, like, you know, you feel the spark, you know, you feel something there, you know? And especially with, like, the Knight of Swords happening here, it's, like, a lot of energy, a lot of, like, okay, let's do it, let's get into it. Like, sometimes this card just dives headfirst into things. But I feel like there's potential to be a little bit reckless and impulsive. That's really what this feels like. I feel like there's some chaos that's going to ensue. And most of the chaos that's going to ensue is because we're not thinking, because we're not, like, we're not stopping and being like, okay, let me take a moment, let me really, like, take a breather here, and we're just trying to do things a little bit too fast and too soon, you know? That's really what it feels like. And I think that's why we have this Fool here in the reverse, which is impulsive, which is reckless, which sometimes doesn't, like, stop and think about the repercussions of its actions. But the good news is we also have the King of Cups, which the King of Cups, he has a really good understanding of his emotions, you know? So, like, he's not out there really playing games. He's like, this is what I want, you know? Like, he has a really good grasp on his emotions, and usually he can communicate those well. The problem is sometimes he keeps those bottled inside. Sometimes he's like, yeah, I know what I'm feeling, I know what I'm thinking, I know what I want. And you have to, like, pry a little bit to, like, get him to open up, is really what it is. But I don't see anything super concerning. I see a little bit of chaos. I see a little bit of, like, stress, you know, probably due to a little bit of miscommunication and that impulsiveness, but it's looking pretty okay for right now, you know? I think this has the potential to lead to something. More chaos, basically. Basically is what it is, more chaos. So, if you're interested, go for it. Just don't be impulsive, you know? Stop and think a little bit. Beans, do you have a good salary based on your 3 jobs? This isn't a job. This is a hobby, you know? I also don't get paid salary. I get paid hourly for my other 2 jobs. But I get paid okay. I get paid enough to pay my bills, and that's what matters, you know? But anyways, Lex, did you have any more questions? Did you want me to answer anything else? Best. I'm gonna be so honest. I've seen better career readings. We see some conflicts here. What's funny is with the 5 of Wands here, like, the 5 of Wands is a conflict card. It's like arguments, people trying to talk over each other, people stealing each other's ideas, stuff like that. But most of these arguments are pointless, you know? They're like petty arguments, petty misunderstandings, stuff like that, where it's like they're not based in anything substantial. It's just people starting stuff for no good reason, really, is what that is. And that's why we have this Queen of Swords card here, which is like, trust your intuition, don't trust 2 people too much, you know, be careful about the situations that you put yourself into, because there are definitely some people around you that they're just gonna start mess for no reason, you know? Like, they're going to bring you down if they can. So don't give them that option, you know? Which is why we have this 4 of Wands here in the reverse, because it's like, will there be success in your career? Eventually, just not right now. Right now, we're looking at a whole bunch of blocks and delays, and things are a little bit tough, which is why we have that trust your intuition and trust your gut type card, you know? Because you got enemies, you got people who don't want to see you succeed, and that's what that is. So basically, you have a boyfriend and recently broke up because of conflict, and he couldn't resist being not. I want to know what he couldn't resist being, honestly. I'm a little nosy. He couldn't resist being not together. He wants to be with you. Are you asking if you should get back together with him? Is that what we're wanting to know? Because I'm thinking that's the question. But yet he tells me he wants time to himself. Okay. Let me just, so you can see the cards better, you know? So you can see the cards better. Honestly, like, I can see that they have those genuine feelings. Like, I don't think that they're doing any of this out of malice, you know? Like, none of this is to intentionally hurt you, is what it is. And honestly, they're a little bit confused themselves. Like, they also aren't really too sure how to go about this or what to do. And the main reason I know that is because we have this 8 of Swords here, right? And the 8 of Swords is lost, it's confused, it's like trying to figure everything out, but can't think of a good way to do it. And it's just really stuck, you know? It's stuck. It's like, how do I do this? How do I solve these problems, you know? And the biggest thing is, like, a change in perspective that needs to happen, you know? And then we have the 5 of Swords, which is kind of like it's a card that's been hurt. It's a card that feels like it was sort of betrayed in a way, or backstabbed in the back, stuff like that. And really, when this card comes in, it's like, okay, number one, we need to heal. We need to focus on ourselves. We need to, like, just take a step back for a minute, you know? So, number one thing is, no, I don't think you guys should get back together. I also don't think getting back together would be the move in general. Like, I don't think it would be what you would want it to be, you know? Like, I don't think it could ever get back to what it was, nor could it be better than that. And the main reason why I say that is because we have the Knight of Pentacles here, which he tries, right? The Knight of Pentacles tries to bring in the stability, the comfortability, like, it tries to bring in these foundational properties to build a relationship. It just fails at it. And what's even worse about this card is unable to commit, you know? So, like, they're not going to be able to commit. They're not going to be able to be like, okay, let's get back together. They're going to be stuck in this in-between stage where it's like, well, I want to get with you, but I can't get with you. Like, I want to get with you, but, like, I feel like I should also be by myself, you know? So they're not ever really going to be ready to commit, and they're going to leave you in this in-between stage, which is why I'm like, don't hold your hopes out for that, honestly. And then we also have the 5 of Pentacles here in the reverse, which is like, it's like a relationship literally on its last legs, you know? Like, the communication sucks. It's struggling to survive, honestly. It's just really struggling to survive, and most of this is because of self-sabotaging, you know? People are doing it to itself, honestly. I just don't understand him, because how can he not commit with me when it's been so long? Some people literally carry too much baggage, where it's like they're unable to really commit. I feel like it has a lot less to do with you and more to do with them. Like, I know I'm saying don't take it personally, and that's hard. It's hard not to take it personally, but it has very little to do with you and much more to do with them, you know? And honestly, when I'm looking at it, I think you're going to find something better anyways. Like, someone who's going to be able to commit regardless, and someone who can, like, give you these overwhelming feelings of happiness and joy and just make you feel, like, very much so whole and complete. So I think that there's something better waiting for you anyways. But, like, when it comes to him, I don't think that that's going to work out. I think there's just a little bit too much hurt and too much pain there, and I don't think he's ever really going to be able to commit, you know? He's too indecisive. As well, you're his first serious girlfriend, which is crazy, because how do you not know if you want me or not? I wish I could tell you. You even offered him a second chance, but you just feel like it's his choice. Honestly, he probably has most of the power right now. I feel like currently, you guys are in an imbalanced relationship where he has most of the power and you feel like you have none of the power. And that's because you keep giving up your power, you know? Like, I'm gonna need you to be like, no, we're not getting back together, and have it be 100% your choice to, number one, just take back some of your power, but also just to, like, help you boost your self-confidence and self-esteem, you know? indecisive of you or knowing the guilt he has. I get it. I get it. Hello, how's it going? Welcome in. So, because that honestly feels like very imbalanced. It just does. First of all, why are so many of these cards in the reverse? Let's just, so that way you can like see all of the cards here. Like, why are so many of them in the reverse is the main question. Number two is there's just not enough self-care that's going on here. Like, we have the Ace of Cups in the reverse, which is a card that feels drained, which is a card that like literally feels exhausted. It feels depleted energetically. It feels like situations are constantly taking and nothing's ever like really pouring back in. And when this card comes, it's like, okay, well, number one, we need to prioritize ourselves. We need to like start reinvesting into ourselves, especially with the Queen of Pentacles here in the reverse. Like, the Queen of Pentacles says we need to nurture ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to make sure we're eating properly, we're getting enough sleep, all of those good things, you know? Moved back home to take care of you. Got you. Then that's definitely what the vibe is, you know? Like, that's what we're focusing on, really. It's just taking care of you and prioritizing yourself so that way you can do all of the other things that you would want to do, you know? Is really what it is. We also have the Justice card in the reverse, which is like an unfair, unbalanced situation, you know, where it's like not feeling heard, not feeling seen, just feeling like your opinion doesn't really matter. And that's what this Justice card is. It's like, I feel like this is a very unfair situation. You know what I mean? And really, when this card comes in, it's usually an indicator that you're probably not going to feel like your voice is ever heard, and you're probably not going to ever really feel like you got justice in said situation, you know? And I feel like that's why we have this Four of Cups here, which is that hard-headed stubbornness. Any other ways it could be? Really? The Justice is like, it's just really unfair, unbalanced. Honestly, in its like truest form, it's an unfair situation, an unbalanced situation, and like voices not being heard. Sometimes it can be read legally, where it's like, if a legal situation is happening, it's not going to go your way, you know? Please stop spamming. Please. That's just annoying. I am in the middle of a reading. You did move home to take care of others too, not just yourself. And what's probably going to end up happening is, like, while you did move back home to take care of others, you're still probably going to end up in the same situation where you end up feeling drained, and you still end up feeling like situations are taking too much from you and not having enough time to really prioritize yourself the way that you want to prioritize yourself, you know? Which leads to that unfairness, you know? Not feeling heard, not feeling seen. That's probably what it is. Like, I feel like these cards of still needing to take care of yourself, like, that's not something that's going to go away anytime soon, you know? But anyways, we have this Four of Cups here, which is a hard-headed, stubborn card. And really what this card is sometimes it stays stuck. Sometimes it's like it doesn't like to open up to new opportunities and new things, which leaves it stuck in the same place, doing the same things over again. So, like, in order to break this cycle of, like, what's going on, you're going to have to break out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to do something that you haven't done before, you know? And you're going to have the tendency to probably hold yourself back a little bit, you know? That's really probably what that is. And then we have the Hierophant here, and the Hierophant can go one of two ways. It could either say that we need more information, like going to school, going to college, like learning skills in that way, shape, or form, or we need to surround ourselves with new people, you know, new people who will guide us into the direction that we want to go, and like need someone new who we can look up to help lead us in that direction. So it's probably more like new people, you know, new community, new... Dang, I was going to say a word and immediately forgot it. And really, in this new that we're seeking, it's probably going to be something that we normally wouldn't do. You know, something that's a little bit different from our norm. But that's okay, you know? Because this card in its reverse is a little unconventional. It's like other people wouldn't really go for it. But just because other people wouldn't go for it doesn't mean it's not for you, you know? So whatever you gravitate towards, go for it, you know? But the main thing is, like, we have this Knight of Pentacles here, which is needing to create stability, needing to create comfort, needing to create peace, like needing to really start to work on foundations. And really what this is this could also be money-wise too, like creating a sense of comfort and peace money-wise to try and make sure that we're doing okay in that area. That's why you came home as well. Yeah, that's what I was feeling. Like, this feels more money-wise, like this feels like a good opportunity to create financial security, you know, and slowly start to build that up. but I still feel like mentally and emotionally, it's probably going to be draining. But anyways, based on these cards, did you have any questions that you wanted me to answer, or did you want me to pull a couple of more cards with the same energy? Yeah, I feel like it's just a little bit more of the same, because with this Ace of Wands, it's that opportunity. It's like an opportunity in our career to like do things that can really allow us to explore our passions and desires and be a little bit more creative in the things that we do, you know? So like good opportunities here for that, but also with this Four of Swords in the reverse, it's still that need to like rest, that need to focus on ourselves, that need to like just make sure we're doing okay and rejuvenate. And what's interesting about this card in the reverse is like whether you try and make time for this or not, it's going to end up happening. Like you're going to end up in a situation where like you're going to be forced to put more energy on yourself, you know, and focus on you, just because that's the only thing that you're really going to be allowed to do, you know. And with the Three of Swords, the Three of Swords is usually like a almost like a heartbreak card, but it's more like a pain of truth. It's like something that happens that really hurts you, that really like stings, but in that pain you're able to see things a lot clearer. You're able to like see the situation and be like, okay, now that I've seen things with a lot more clarity, I'm able to move forward and make a plan and do what I need to do, you know? So it focuses a lot less on the pain aspect of things and more on the clarity side, especially when this card is in the reverse. It's like, now that I see things and how they really are, what am I going to do now? How am I going to handle this situation, you know? And I feel like this has a lot to do with that, focusing on yourself, prioritizing yourself, those types of things, you know? I feel like this is attached to that. Absolutely. You are more than welcome. I hope that helps you, gives you some clarity and insight, and makes you feel better about everything.